Hi everyone, welcome back to another week of Coding Club. I'm Miss Susan from the Free Library of Northampton Township. Today we're going to be working again on Scratch and making another program. This one is going to be a game where you'll be able to have lots of opportunities to add things and customize it, make it more personal to you, make it an easy or hard game. And we're going to start again by going to the Scratch website, which is scratch.mit.edu. We're going to either sign into your account over here on the right, or you can select Create on the top left. We're going to be creating a new project today. This game is going to be a snowball fight game. So what we want to do is have sprites and a backdrop that's consistent with a snowball fight. We're going to get rid of our Scratch cat, and we're going to add a backdrop that is appropriate for a snowy scene, a snowball fight. So I picked the winter scene. We're going to be adding a sprite, which is a snowball. Now, looking through all of the sprites that are available to you, I don't see anything that looks exactly like a snowball. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the ball and modify it so that it's more consistent looking with a snowball. Now this one looks too big, so I'm going to change the size from 100 to 50. I like the size, but I do not like the color, so I'm going to go over to costumes. I don't like the blue, pink, green, or purple one. I'm going to take the yellow one and try to make it look more snowy. We're highlighting it. Go to fill. Instead of this light yellow color, I'm going to make it white. And instead of this orange color, I'm going to give it like a grayish blue. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Alright, so if we move it, we can still see the snowball in the snow and in the sky. So you can play around with that and see what kind of snowball you come up with. I'm going to change the name now. It's no longer ball A, but snowball. You can make it anything you like. I'm going to need another costume because I want to be able to point in the direction that this snowball is going to be thrown. So what I want to do is add another costume. To do that, I right click and select duplicate, and I want to call this snowball-aim. And what I want to do is just create a temporary line, so I'll select line, from this corner or edge here straight to the right. And you can see it here. As long as you can see it, it's just for aiming purposes. It can be any color. You can make it a dashed line. You can make it a thick or thin line. But that's going to be my snowball aim. All right, those are my costumes. I have two costumes for one sprite. Now I'm going to go to the coding. My coding is going to start with, please start my program. When I select the green flag, I want to move my snowball and go to somewhere around here. Now looking down, it looks like I'm minus 110, minus 130. So instead of eyeballing it, you can move it and then take a look at the coordinates down below. So that's where I want to start. And I want to make sure I'm pointing in the direction. And I would also like to change the look of it. I want to switch the costume right in the beginning to my snowball aim. Alright, so snowball aim, I'm pointing it. Now, I want to be able to change that direction, so I'm going to use a repeat loop. And I'm going to point towards my mouse pointer until I press the space key. So if you look here, I'm changing the pointing direction, and see how that aiming line helps me decide where I'm pointing to. And as soon as I press the space key on my keyboard, it stops. Alright, so now I have the direction that snowball is going to be pointing, where it's going to be thrown. So I can change my direction, but what about the speed and the power of my snowball? So we're going to add a variable to change the power. So we're making a variable called power. Oops. You can see it up here. And we're going to set in the beginning that variable power to 0, and we need to change the power by 1, increase it by 1 until I no longer am selecting the space key. So when I select the space bar, it's going to change my direction. As soon as I let go of the space bar, the power is going to stop changing. I also have to put a weight in here because if I don't, it's going to go too fast. So you can also play around with this weighting. I'm going to put 0.2 seconds. So let's try this out. When I select the green flag, I am changing my direction. I'm going to now select my space bar on my keyboard, and I'm going to continue to push it down. And when I hit 10, I'm going to let go. So now I have the direction I want, and I let go when the power came to 10. And you can keep trying that to see. I want to go straight up, but I only want the power to 5. All right, so there's a little bit of timing. If that seems to be going too fast for you, change this weight to a little bit longer. This here's 0.5. And see how that's good. That's slowing down the power for you. So you have a little more control over the power. So the only thing left, I have the direction and I have the speed of my snowball. Now all I have to do is throw it. So what I'm going to do is create an event, broadcast an event, call throw. All right, so there's an event called throw. And what that means is that as soon as, actually I'm going to broadcast throw and then wait. That's a little bit better, just to slow things down a bit. All right, so when I receive the throw command and I start this event, first thing I'm going to do is my look. I'm going to switch the costume and go back to just the snowball. Okay, I'm going to repeat loop, move. How many steps? It's going to be power number of steps. That's why a bigger number is going to be faster and a smaller number is going to be slower. And I'm going to keep moving until what? Until I touch the edge. That's how it's going to stop. If not, it's going to keep going forever. So let's try that. All right, I'm changing my position, holding down my space bar, changing stop, and I'm throwing it, and it stops when it hits the edge. All right, the only thing left maybe is to have something to throw to. So we need a target. You can create any sprite you want that you think would be a great target out there in the snow. I'll pick a penguin. I'll make this a little bit a smaller penguin. All right. What's going to happen to this penguin when I click go? It's going to go to a random spot. Forever loop. There you are. And an if I'm touching the snowball, then I'm going to say, oh no, you got me. All right. Now where am I going to start at? I'm going to go to a certain X and a certain Y. I like this X right here, which is about 100. You can play around with this. With the Y, I'm going to hit a random value between -150 and 150. Let's see that. All right, I'm going to point towards my penguin, I'm going to press my space key. I'm going to go pretty fast. I'll go up to 10. You got me. And here we go. We got our penguin, and it's going to change each time. It's going to keep moving. So you can practice your target. Now, how can you make this different? We can change different sprites. You can create another variable called a score to see how you're doing. You can create barriers that if it hits a rock or a bird or something, then you get then it will deflect or bounce off of that. So you can add a lot of things to this game. If you have any ideas, shoot me an email. I'm at elkos@buckslive.org. I'd love to hear how you made this game even more fun. I hope you enjoyed doing our scratch game today. Next week we're going to try another program. Hope to see you then, and have a great week. Take care.